You tell a story. He does too. Can he one up you? Well, that's up to you. Tell your best tale and you never know. You could be a winner on the One Upper Show.
Okay, and welcome back to the One Upper. I'm your host, Ted Blazek. We're at the Farmers Market in downtown Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. We've got another great guest who's come by our little open air booth here. And what's your name?
Curtis.
Curtis. And where are you from, Curtis?
From Seattle originally.
Uh-huh. How long do you live out here now?
Yeah, for almost 3 months now.
Oh, you just moved here.
Yep.
Welcome to
Hey,
the neighborhood.
thank you.
Yeah. I don't know what your story is, but I'm interested to hear it. What do you got?
Well, that's actually a story from today.
Oh, from today?
Yeah, it happened today.
This is the first time on the show that we've had that recent a story,
All right.
today's story.
All
So
right.
I'm excited now.
Okay.
All right. What do you got?
So on my way home today, I was gonna stop and get gas, right? You know, you're running low. You got the orange light on. You're running out of
You're running
gas.
really. Yeah.
So you're like, I gotta get gas before I come home. You know, you
Yeah.
let the wife know you gotta stop and go and get gas, right?
Yeah.
Normally it takes me 15 minutes to get home from work.
Okay.
So I'm on my way home and stop at the gas station.
Yeah.
And I can't fill up my gas. It's not working. The button's not working. There's
The pump is broken.
the pump's broken.
Okay.
So it's a touch screen. So I'm not
I just saw one of those for the first time the other day.
yeah.
A touch screen. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Is yours on I-95 by the casino? Was this that gas station there?
no down on one of the roundabouts on Celtice.
Okay, on something. Yeah, all right. All right. But I've just noticed this week for the first time ever a touch screen for a gas
And
pump. So what happens to you?
well, so I'm trying to put regular gas in it and I can't because you have to touch it. And there's even instructions on the touch screen. It literally is like, please use one finger to touch it. And you're kind of laughing because you're like, okay, like, you know, I've
Yeah.
used touch screens. I know how to use this. Everything's fine. So I'm trying to touch which fuel that I want to use.
Right,
I'm like,
yeah,
I want to
yeah,
use
yeah, yeah,
regular,
yeah, yeah.
89. I want to use regular. Here we go.
Yeah.
And I can't do it. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, what the fuck? How come I can't get this to work? I go, I've done this before and I'm sitting there cussing. I'm going, God damn it. Why isn't this working? And a guy next to me comes up on his motorcycle and pulls a little forward. Like he doesn't start it, but he kind of scoots with his foot and
Yeah.
pulls his motorcycle forward and he looks at me and he makes eye contact with me and he goes, are you happy?
Are you happy?
And I looked at him and I go, about the pump?
Yeah.
He says, no, about the corruption in our government.
What the?
But I kind of just look at him and I'm like, well, I don't know. Sure. And yeah, he kind of decided to let me know just about everything. He started
Lecturing you?
Oh yeah, he was like it's like he almost kind of wanted to hear somebody oppose him about
really?
the situation.
For a fight.
Yeah.
God.
So
I
so right off the bat I
That's
just go yeah, I don't know. I was like, "Yeah, fuck the government."
know.
And then he got excited,
Oh, that's
which was not the best. Yeah, which was not the best because now he wants to chat with me and I'm
Yeah,
supposed to be on my way home to the
yeah,
wife and kid.
Yeah.
It's supposed to take me 15 minutes, an extra stop off at the gas station.
Yeah.
So he starts rambling on about all these he was calling them dogs, everyone in the government. He goes, they're all dogs, sit please, quiet please, lay down, good dog. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and he just kind of kept going off on me. You know when you're doing that when you kind of start walking away.
Yeah.
It's kind of that cue if you're like just like a normal human being.
You pick up
You
on
kind of
the
go, you kind of go, all right.
Right.
You're trying to keep going, and he keeps. So he kept kind of rambling on at me and trying to talk to me as I kept going
And
on.
the whole time, are you still trying to get the damn button to click so you can get
Well, so I
gas?
kept trying to make it look like that, but then I was like, well, it was like a lost cause because
Yeah.
I'm trying to do this and it's not working, so I can't stop and get it to go to
Yeah.
do the gas.
So you need to go
And then I need to go inside to figure it out. So as
Yeah.
I'm trying to walk inside and it's busy, right? So like It happens to be one of the times where it's super busy.
Okay, and
So people are
is-
trying to pull up behind him, and he's in his motorcycle. And people look. So I'm kind of, when you like look over and they look too,
yeah,
and he's not getting the adjustment
there's a
to.
line of people now. You
There's
haven't
almost an
got
audience of people wanting
right.
to listen to what he's telling me about.
You're kidding
I
me.
swear.
You're still trying to get in the store. You haven't gotten in the store, and he's pontificating,
Yes.
and now and worshipers have gathered.
Yes. I mean, this stuff is like real. She doesn't like believe me. Like she's like, these things just gravitate towards me, man. Like I these things just happen to me.
That's bad luck,
So,
man.
you know.
So what happened? How did it
Well,
resolve?
finally there's the car behind him, and I kind of made the adjustment to be like, "Hey, you got a car behind you," and he starts kind of letting
Oh,
me
so you
know.
let him know.
I was like,
People.
"Hey," and then he pulled up. He started the motorcycle and pulled in front of me, and then turned it off to keep talking. I was like, "Oh," all right, well, I gotta."
Wait.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, well, I was like, gotta make my way inside. He like introduced himself, and
Wow.
I have a
What's his
name.
name? Do you have a
Um,
or an identification? Just to warn listeners? No.
Yeah,
Don't
honestly,
do
I
that.
can't
Don't
even
do that.
remember, because you're in that point of just going away. But I have a name that I use
Yeah.
so that it's they don't know my real name. This
Oh,
happens to me a lot.
you're
So I
kidding.
have to have an
Really?
alias of people introducing themselves to me, and I feel awkward not using, like so I don't like using my name typically
Yeah.
to random people.
Are you willing to share your alias? And by the way, I think this is one of the most brilliant ideas I've ever heard. And I am about to create an alias now. I never thought of this before. And this is great because you're not alone, but I think you might also be some sort of magnet for this, I'm wondering.
There's something about it. I don't
Yeah,
know what it is.
your wife says you are. You're a magnet for the crazies. Yeah. You just look like a friendly guy who wants to listen
I
and be on their
guess. I
side, maybe,
guess. Yeah.
or your aura or something. I don't know. Man. So, all right. So there's a guy behind. He comes, he parks the motorcycle up. Have you already given him your alias at this point?
No, because he pulled in front of me and then turned back off the car, and he was so stoked that I was like almost agreeing with him to just kind of like talk with
Yeah.
him about
Yeah.
everything. Because you can, when somebody's talking about that, they almost kind of want. It's almost like they're looking for you to be like opposed, so they can try to sell you on their side of the story or
Yeah.
whatever. So instead of me like beating to that, go the other side, I just went like full bore and agreed with him on everything
Nice defensive
to
measure.
almost confuse him.
It's almost like social karate.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he pulled in front of me and he's like, right on, and told me his name. But at this point, I'm so like, I'm trying to like walk away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I say my alias,
Okay.
which is Chris Kelsey,
Oh, he shares it.
which I don't know why that name is something,
It's a
but
great name, Chris Kelsey. It comes to your mind quick, and
yeah.
it'll be hard to track
And
you.
it's two firsties.
Yeah,
So
that's
you have to confuse them with that,
yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
yeah.
have.
So do you manage to actually get away from him?
So finally, he just drives away on his motorcycle, and you can see the other people that were kind of in the distance that were kind of listening on, and it's
Yeah.
almost like they were curious that they wanted to come up to me and ask me about
Oh,
it, type
really?
thing. But then at that point, I've already had too much interaction with people,
Yeah.
and I knew I had to get home. So if it were any other time, I probably would have made
Yeah.
the interactions because I wanted to see what other people, because I'm a
Yeah.
curious person as
Yeah.
well. But I just kind of made my way and just didn't make eye contact, and everyone went about their time. Made my way inside,
So kept your
figured
eyes
it
to the ground,
out.
got in the store, waited in line, took care of business.
Yep,
By then, the audience dispersed,
yep.
and you were able to actually get gas and get home.
Hmm.
How long did it take you to get home?
I think it took me an hour. It took me about an hour to get home.
What's your wife's name? Oh, you don't have to say. It's Casey.
Carissa.
Carissa, and you
Yeah.
agree it took an hour?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She's tracking me. I know.
Like online, huh?
That's a tough gas refill story.
Right.
It really is. Okay. So now's the point on the show where I try to one up you with a story from my life. Okay. I'm going to call you the winner. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Because I had a reason for why I would attract these people. Okay. And it was that I worked at a convenience store. And for some reason, two convenience stores, the population of the highly imaginative with the desperate need for an audience are really drawn to your convenience stores. They really are. They think that that guy behind by the register has got nothing better to do. And I'm a friendly guy, and I was uh, going to college and grad school, and I always had to work, and I would pick up the night shifts from 11 to 7 because there would be like you have a bar rush at 2, and yeah, I would do my chores, I get them off and everything, and then if I did it fast enough, I would get 2 or 3 hours from like 3 to 5 that no one would come in the store, and I could do my homework. And so, and that's what I did for getting ready for grad school.
Yeah.
And so I could study for my GREs. And so anyway, uh, but I started to develop these regulars in the morning, and they were people who would be on their way to work, and they were always middle-aged guys too. And basically, I had one guy that showed up every morning at 5 a.m. and kept me company until 5:45. And he liked to talk about bluegrass and um, and breeding tropical fish, which he did at home. He had like I can tell you all about it because I
Yeah,
know.
the saltwater
Yeah,
tank.
he had like 50 saltwater tanks in his garage. Da 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 da. And then I had then 15 minutes after that, I had another guy who would come in, and he was a vet, and he always wore vet stuff, and he was really nice, and he like never talked at all, or he would just say he would like just listen to what the other people, and then every now and then throw out like, well, that's a lot of money for cigarettes, and just sip his coffee. And he always played one scratch ticket every day. And then 15 minutes after he left, after his hour stint, I had this other guy who was just crazy, and I borderline homeless or something, and I always had to use the bathroom, and he felt that because I let him use the bathroom, he had to pay me back by keeping me company for another 45 minutes. And I don't know why, I only had to shove for 4 months, and I didn't change any of it. I just listened to their stories, and the last one, he would, and the first one too, and the last one would tell crazy political things
Oh
that
yeah.
they had, and I did the same thing. I just said, uh-huh, uh-huh. And a couple of times I tried, I said, well, what about this? And then that went in a direction where I quickly learned to go back to, uh-huh, uh-huh.
So you were like the local convenience store psychologist.
Yeah. And fortunately, my customers kept, it was also always fairly busy because it was the morning rush. There was a lot of gas, a lot of cigarettes. Like I had this nurse who was, oh, so this drove me crazy. She was like 8 months pregnant, and she came in every morning and bought a pack of cigarettes.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, come on now. You're supposed to know better. And I didn't say anything, because she should know. There's a warning on the package. But anyway, so I had a job where I attracted people, and I had to deal with them every day, and it was something like that. But honestly, strangers just coming up to you like that. That guy is,
It
yeah.
happens quite often for
Like
me.
seriously, how many
Yeah.
times has this happened?
Oh man. It's I mean it's got to be like once a week.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Really?
There's something, yeah. It's fun. I mean, that's why she was like, "What story are you gonna tell?" And I'm like, "I'm not good like off the bat, so I had to say something that was very recent." But if you had me sitting down for a minute, we could probably come up with some stories of probably weekly incidences of
With
people
people
coming
like,
up to me or
does it
like in the
matter where you
bar.
live?
No.
Really?
Oh no.
Are you out in the line to
No, I
bump into these
I guess I
people?
wouldn't.
Or
Not like I don't know. Not really. I guess like I don't know. Just when I'm like out and about, or if you're like going to the grocery store or something, like I'll come back and have a story. And she's like, "What?" She's like, "No one ever talks to me." I'm like, I don't initiate any of these. It just kind of like happens. Like people will come up to me and start a conversation.
And are they all the guy on the motorcycle? Are they all have something they got to preach?
Some are, to preach. Some just want something to say. Some will ask like random questions about, if you're in like the fruit aisle or whatever. They're like, "Hey, do you know how to tell if this vegetable is ready or say?" I'm like, "What?" Like,
What would I know?
I'm like, "I work here," like.
Wow.
And she
Wow.
never, because I would tell her when we first met, my wife, and then she
Yeah.
was like, and then as we, now been together for almost 4 years,
Yeah.
she was like, she didn't believe me at first. I'm like, no, like this like happens to me like quite
Wow.
often.
That's really weird. I've never heard of anybody with this problem. It's almost like its own social phenomenon.
It could be.
Yeah. You might want to speak to some sociologists or psychologists at some local
I
university.
don't know. It must be that, empath in me. People can sense it in me.
Maybe there is something that you give social cues
Maybe.
to attract that. Wow. Okay.
I try
So
not to. I feel like being talking to other people and being out there, I get like anxiety about talking with people. So I'm surprised you guys even got me to sit down and talk with you guys.
I,
Tell you
I'm,
the truth.
well, I'm real glad we did because this is really weird and interesting.
I
So
agree.
I'm glad you shared it. Maybe there is a expert sociologist or psychologist at some highfalutin university listening in who can identify this. And if you can, or if you can one up us, and what's your name again?
Curtis.
Curtis. If you've got a problem like Curtis, we're a magnet for folks like this with their stories. We love to hear it. So please email us a video clip, an audio clip, or type it up and send it to the oneupper.show@gmail.com or visit us at our webpage, oneuppershow.com. You can listen to us wherever you hear your podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, soon iHeartRadio and Apple. And follow us on our social media links that are here below. And thanks for listening. And keep those good stories coming. All right, great job.
Thanks.
Yeah, you tell a good story. That
The
was
one